This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcast system. This is only a test.
James McMahon Music Podcast. James McMahon Music Podcast. James McMahon Music Podcast. James McMahon Music Podcast. He speaks to the geeks and the musical freaks, but sometimes popular but mostly oblique because he's James McMahon Music Podcast. James McMahon Music Podcast.
This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Right then, I've just been listening to let me start that again.
Get them out. I do the same thing.
Yeah. It's been one of those days. I've just been listening to your new records, and I need to address the elephant in the room from the very off. It's quite prog, isn't it?
Yeah, we started out as this weird amalgam of things that we loved, you know what I mean? And it almost, dare I say, like there was some almost like jazzy metal in the early Ant Farm days, and it's weird to see like some of that like jazzy metal come back into this, and I think that's what what I call jazzy metal and you call prog, I think might be the same thing.
Jazz hands metal.
It was weird. I mean, don't ask me why. It's not really. They're not really a band that I listen to very often. But I was actually listening to Porcupine Tree. You know the band Porcupine Tree, and I was listening to them this afternoon. And when I finished your record, Porcupine Tree ran on, and they are like a quintessential, modern prog band. And I was really confused. What was what? I was like, oh, where does Alien Ant Farm end? And but can I propose?
Hey, don't say that too loud. You might piss Porcupine Tree off. They're be like, "What the hell? Don't put us in the same circles as those jerks."
Can I propose an Alien Ant Farm theory?
Yeah, I was hoping you propose a Alien Ant Farm Porcupine Tree tour.
I mean, if they're listening, then get in touch. I've somehow become your booking agent here. No, I have this theory about Alien Ant Farm I think that you are a really good band and have always been a really good band and always been a really innovative band. Like when I was a kid, I'm 43. So when I was like kind of, turning 20, like Movies was on every mixtape I made. It probably wasn't totally in sync with a lot of the music that I liked at that point, but I just thought, it's such an emotional song. I always just thought that song was genius. And then with the first record, I always thought that it was much more innovative than you got credit for. And I always kind of felt like maybe Alien Ant Farm didn't get the credit they deserved, as obviously you were ridiculously successful in that era, but you didn't really get the credit you deserved in terms of the innovation and the songwriting and such like, because A, you were called Alien Ant Farm, and B, you had this, your biggest song was this cover version. Is that a crackpot theory, or is there something in that?
I've heard it before.
Say that again?
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard that theory a bit,
Okay.
like as being an older band now, even, every now and then, somebody says that. I mean, not so much the name, but it's usually the cover version of the song that they feel eclipsed like whatever notoriety they felt we should get.
Well, what's your relationship then with that song? Are you grateful for it, or is it a bit of an albatross, or is it a bit of both?
I love it. I mean, I loved it when we were working, hashing it out and working it out. It just lent itself to rock so well. I thought just the tempo of it and everything, and I think being eclectic in taste for us. What other cover was there to do? I mean, what are we going to do? Guilty by Barbra Streisand, or are we going to do Smooth Criminal? Let's get it going.
Now that you say.
Because we got nothing to be guilty of.
I mean, there is the Wham cover this time round.
Yeah, Wham.
I mean, okay, let me try and phrase it a different way because I actually found that answer unsatisfactory. So I'm going to go again. I think what I'm trying to say is, do you think that people often haven't seen just what a good band you are because you have this zeitgeisty, iconic cover version? You know,
Yeah,
if I said to
I would
someone,
say.
oh, you know, hey, I'm interviewing Alien Ant Farm later, they'd be like, oh yeah, that video is amazing. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
yeah.
dun. You know, all that.
Or just like I've had like just people like, oh, you're the Smooth Criminal guy, you know what I mean? Like, or you're the Annie, are you okay guy? Where they like you don't know the name of the song, so I get that. It's just like almost like being it's like a Rubik's cube or something, you know what I mean? It's just part of like culture almost, you know. They don't know like, and I don't expect them to know. Some people don't really dig into um I don't know. Do we all know like Rick Astley's? He's like the biggest "never gonna give you up" meme or something. You know what I mean? It's like kind of stops there, except for people that cared to scratch the surface a little bit deeper or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, wow, Rick Astley is like a badass drummer, also, and he has songs, and so there's lives behind peeling the onion for sure. You're gonna see." Maybe we might be a terrible band after Smooth Criminal, but some people dig it too, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a weird one though. I mean, I just did an episode the other day with Chesney Hawkes. Do you know Chesney Hawkes?
Mm-mm.
He might not mean anything on the other side of the pond, as they say,
Uh-huh.
but he has this song, "I am the one and only." It's like he is like a quintessential one hit wonder. And
Yeah.
I did this, but he's actually, he's really talented. Like he collaborated with that band Fountains and Wayne that I love, and I've got a lot of time.
Yeah, they're a great, but they're an awesome band.
Yeah, I've got a lot of time for him. But he said a similar thing in the sense that it's really hard to hate this song that will always give him a career. Like you'll always be able to get bookings because of the success of that song. So how do you live with that song when you think, okay, well, it kind of obscures all of the other stuff that we do, but at the same time, it's kind of a meal ticket until the day we check out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's almost to me like the firework that we set off or something, you know. It's like okay, let's get back to Ant Farm, even though that is how most, you could even argue the majority of people that know Ant Farm. I would say the majority of people that do actually come out to buy a ticket or whatever and come to the show, they know Attitude and Movies and Sticks and Stones and deeper tracks. So as fun as that song is, it's like, all right, like let's get back to Alien Ant Farm. You know, it's like two different things almost, even though we did that.
My other theory is, I'm full of the theories this evening. My other theory is that, the wheels kind of fell off for a while, didn't they? And it feels like now this is like another chapter. Like it feels like that you've experienced a lot, and obviously there was some false dawns with this record. I read that, the pandemic sort of scuppered everyone's plans really, but it feels like it's taken a while to kind of get this new era of Alien Ant Farm going, but now you are poised to have it. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I think it was like the right
Yeah.
time to feed this, you know what I mean, and put love and nurture into it. Where before, like you said, the meal ticket thing, uh just like taking shows as they came through, without much thought to it, or even like writing new material and stuff. I think this just right now felt like the right time to do it. You know what I mean? We've been like away long enough, and the right time for everyone to want to put in the work and time. Because we all know, just like setting up a record and going out and trying to promote it is much more than just sitting down and penning the songs. So I think it was just a good time for us to get ready and think about doing all the things that it takes to nurture this thing, to see it through.
We kind of, yeah, we gravitated back to each other pretty naturally, I think. Um, After the time, whatever we needed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, why do you think that is though?
Why
We've
why
always done
now?
this.
No, what I mean, you were saying you gravitated back to each other quite easily. Why do you think that was? What is it about the combination of the people who are in this band that means that
Well,
you
we've all pretty much known each other since we were kids, and our families have mingled, and our parents, and we've always done this kind of. It's what we've done for so long. It was pretty easy to just kind of feel the calling, so to speak, and once we got back in the room together or started trading ideas, it was very relaxed and natural. It felt good, so we went forward.
I mean, it's quite. There's a nice bit of synchronicity in the fact that the U.S. Congress has basically confirmed that aliens exist, and here you are with this comeback. That's how have you planned that? How have you made that work?
We can't tell.
Jeez.
I mean, it's a silly question, but I just want to talk.
You have
about
to go
it.
to Area 51 and break in to find out.
Well, it's a silly question, but I just thought there's a bit of a running joke on this podcast that if there is an opportunity for me to turn the conversation to aliens, I will do. So it just feels a bit like talking to Alien Ant Farm. I should try to talk to you about aliens.
Yeah. Well, hey man, my mom came here from Mexico when she was 9 years old illegally, so she's an alien as well.
See, you put me on the spot there in that kind of awkward white guy thing where it's like I don't really know what the political correct thing to say is.
I know, right? You're like so let's get back to what is it? Mantras it's called?
Well, I mean, what I will say though is I was trying to work out a way to say this without I don't want to draw you into talking about the specifics of this because it's not something that I think any decent person should concern themselves with. But there was recently, you did have a bit of a viral moment on Twitter where a guy who's quite right wing made that point about the Smooth Criminal video, saying, "Oh, remember when life was this simple?" And I did think to myself, well, hang on, one of their parents is a Mexican immigrant. This kind of, I wonder what this racist would think if he actually knew that.
I know, right?
My father was an immigrant too, not from Mexico, but yeah.
Oh, right. Where did your dad come from?
Italy.
Oh, nice. Spice it up, man. It's what it's all about. Anyway, I'm pleased we addressed that briefly. Anyway,
yeah.
This isn't the hardest question I'm going to ask you in the time we got together. But my mum, not my mum. My mum doesn't. I don't even think my mum knows who Alien Ant Farm are. My wife.
She does.
My wife wants to know if you still have the center parting.
No, I have lots of grays for my children, and
she's going to be very disappointed. How long did the center parting last? When did it go?
I don't know. It kind of it kind of came and went a couple times. I think it started. I was just being an idiot watching I think I was watching a Boys to Men video, and they had the shaved the notches in the side, and I was like, "Oh man, that's freaking bullshit." I'm all, if they were men to men, they would do it right in the fucking middle, and I just did it, and that's how it started.
Yeah, I see. I think you should have wrote it out a bit more because it's quite hard to think of something genuinely original. In the Elvis says he had his hips, and the guy from Kajagoogoo, whatever was going on up top there, and you had a thing. I feel like I would love the fact Elvis's hips and my little stupid part in the same conversation. It should be illegal, but yeah, I remember. You know what? When I first did it, DreamWorks was kind of I remember a couple people were commenting on just how dumb or whatever it was, and why did I do that? And then I remember I think our guy Ron, who signed us, he saw a couple kids had it at our show. And he was all, "Don't get rid of that! Don't get rid of that!" Yeah, I mean, I'm a wrestling fan. Everyone needs a gimmick, I liked it. Tell me about the closing song on the record, because that was which is the title track, because that was the moment I thought a little bit like maybe I'd taken drugs and hadn't realized.
Well, it just we had it's some overdubs from another song on the record called Glasses, and we kind of took the overdubs because we took the overdubs of that song, and I started calling out and lyrically, even melodically, songs from our past and our history. So I kind of sift through a good 15 or 20 old songs through that, and I just felt it just felt fitting and cool. I didn't know if it was going to be we didn't know if we were going to put it on the record or anything. It was just like a fun thing to do. Then it kind of turned and morphed into something that actually did sound a little charming.
When we stripped away all the other instruments and just left these overdubs, it sounded like a whole different song, kind of different vibe. It was like a movie soundtrack or something,
Yeah.
And we didn't know what we were going to do with it. We just knew it was cool. And then Dryden started putting all these lyrics from our past to it, and we were like, "That's pretty great."
I did a pass, or I started to do something that was original, just like new lyrics for like mantra, you know what I mean? And one old song like fit in there really good, and so I was like, all right, let's go down that lane where I'm gonna pick and choose a verse lyric from all these ancient ant farm riffs. It was fun.
Yeah, it's quite fitting in with the idea of mantras as well, though. There's sort of something tribal going on.
All the different lines, that's well put, yeah.
What's the song? I can't remember it off the top of my head, but what's the song? What Am I Doing? That's the name of the song, which is kind of I don't want to say reggae, but reggae.
We have a weird habit of doing reggae and minor, and it gives it a whole different vibe in a way.
Oh, like goth reggae.
Kind of, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Oh, reggae.
Some of these songs were from the sort of first attempt at doing this record before the pandemic, though, right? Like, which were those?
Yes.
Which
including that one.
Oh, okay, right. So, which were those? I like the fact the pandemic happened, and I mean, I like that song, so I'm pleased it made the cut. But I like the fact the pandemic happened, and that's about a period of 4 years, 3 years maybe. And at no point did you think, goth reggae. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't see that through.
That's awesome. It's like we do love The Cure, and we do love the Police, and there you go.
Yeah, no, I mean,
there you go. Yeah, perfect.
That is very clear in places. Do you have a book? Do you have a notebook with ant puns in it? And do you ever
it's worry, all here.
Do you ever worry about running out of them?
Here's my ant pun book right here.
What is that?
It's my ant pun book.
Well, go on. I don't believe you. Show me a page.
Oh, it's disappearing. It's disappearing ink. Right. Disappearing ink.
I have to say that last dance I was very impressed with. Very impressed.
Oh yeah. I love that's there's something about that song where if someone back when we released Anthology, the first record, if someone said show me a song that is Alien Ant Farm, I would have probably showed them Sticks and Stones. And I think if someone said show me a song that's Alien Ant Farm, I would probably show them Last Dance now,
You might have to explain that a little bit more. I think I was still marveling at the pun. Explain that to me.
That just feels like a sturdy.
It's a well representation. It's a good representation.
It's a clear, concise karate chop. I was trying to think of an ant pun, but I fell apart.
Yeah. I mean, let's say a 7 out of 10 for effort. Yeah, thanks for trying. Did you ever think?
I was anticipating your answer.
Oh, mate, that's brilliant. Write that in your book.
Brilliant. You should have said that's brilliant.
Brilliant.
I mean, this.
You'll get it.
No, I've got it. I think it's very good. I don't know whether that was you. I don't know how long you were lining that up. But no,
I'm very anti ant pun.
yeah. Okay, we can move on now if you want. I mean, you were saying
Hey,
that.
hey, have things got stagnant for
Things,
you, or
well, it's just I'm getting a little bit antsy with where
uh,
we are.
For
If
time.
you said that about, I'm still thinking of ant puns. You said that about if you showed someone a song. I'm not going to do it justice by trying to repeat what you said.
yeah.
But did you ever think in 2024 you would be doing this?
No, because I mean, I don't know. No, I don't think so. I don't know if I was thinking that far ahead ever, really.
Maybe
Yeah.
half think, half hope.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
Half think, half hope.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Well, again, though, I guess it's just that thing of, because a lot of the presentation of your group was quite goofy, like the videos, the artwork, and that's not criticism at all. Like, I feel like you did that really well, but I
It
wonder
was
whether.
all that goofiness was kind of like thought out in a way, you know?
Well, this is it. It's like when you go see a great comedian. Like, there's a lot of thought to the mechanics of it. It's
Mhm.
not like that stuff is just totally spontaneous.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, it wasn't an accident that we were like kind of crawling out of a new metal genre and trying not to be the dark band that every other band was, or
Yeah.
trying to be that band that had like the blue filter on every photo that they took in, where they're sitting in like behind a winded out tree or something. We definitely didn't. We wanted to put some color and humor into it. Maybe not humor into the songs per se, but into what we didn't want to be the cool band, and I felt like that kind
All
of
right.
made it cool in a
That
way.
was like our peers were like, it seemed like our peers at the time were just like a lot of being cool kind of stuff, and where else could we go from there, really? It's just have some
And
fun with it.
we all love like the macabre metal kind of image and stuff too. I think that's really cool, but that we are not.
I'm trying to remember who wrote it. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with this. I don't think it's the. I don't think it's something that you should get etched on your tombstones. But I did read an amazing review of your band once that said Alien Ant Farm are proof that new metal can be intentionally funny, and I thought that was very good, in the sense that it was kind of a diss of a lot of a lot of this very silly but not deliberately silly music that maybe surrounded you that some of your peers were making, but it was complimenting you for actually having wit and humor.
Yeah, I kind of get that. It's hard to like separate in the world too, and then someone sees like a a goofy video and then think, oh well, it's like a goofy band, but then you close your eyes and the songs. I don't feel like there's any like real like cheesiness or um goof in that. Even Smooth Criminal felt like real and appropriate to me when I closed my eyes. You know what I mean? You add all the mirrored chair and the chimpanzee and all the hilarity that is that crazy fuck Michael Jackson himself. Um, then it gets like goofy and weird. How much more goofy can you get than that guy trying to friggin'
I, I
whatever
have no
became the
idea.
end.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I like I like that. I have one of these things, right? When I do my podcast, I have one of these sort of like things I sniff. These.
Ooh,
Yeah.
is that like a Vicks thing? A
It's
Vicks
like
inhaler?
it's like a Vicks thing, but I was talking to my mum the other day on FaceTime, and I started doing it, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh,
Uh-oh.
I didn't realize that we were in conversation." So yeah. Anyway, you need to put something.
Uh-oh.
You need to put something up your nose now.
Let's see. Let me see. I got the trackball for my mouse. Does that
That's quite good.
go?
Yeah, make sure you
It's a
make sure
little...
you wash that before you use it again. I'm gonna close on another. I'm gonna close this conversation on a big question. I hate chimpanzees. Oh, hello. I Just for the benefit of the listeners, and not the people who are watching, there is a
Yeah.
man with drumsticks up his nostrils. I hate chimpanzees. I think they're the most evil animal on God's green earth. Were you scared having a chimpanzee on your lap?
Good question, actually, Dry.
I I kind of got. He was awesome throughout the day because we spent a lot of time together. During in the day, the shoot got very long and tiresome, and he started to feel. I could almost feel the energy of him getting cranky, and
Can
I
I insert
started
something, please?
and I did start to get a little scared. Go ahead.
Sorry. Dryden has background with chimpanzees, so he's well aware of what they're capable of.
Oh
Continue.
yeah. My aunt and uncle had chimps in Acapulco. They had two chimps, and one of the chimps actually like ripped the toilet out of the ground, which I don't think a human being could grab a toilet and rip it out of the ground. So your fear of them is pretty valid, I'd say.
Have you seen that film Nope?
What is it?
Have you seen the film Nope, the Jordan Peele movie about?
Oh yeah,
UFOs?
I saw that one. I watched it.
Jesus Christ, man! Like somehow you can have this sort of human eating UFO thing in a movie, and yet the scene with the chimpanzee is still the scariest. Or
Yeah, that's right.
awful.
You know
awful.
what's weird is just the other day we're all big Howard Stern fans, and I kind of tend to put Howard Stern on just in the background, like the old shows, like the Sternthologies and stuff. And they were doing a show. They were talking about there was a chimpanzee attack here in the States. I can't remember the specifics, but
It was the Florida.
about
It was the Florida one where they ate the girl's face. They
I
ate the
think
owner's
so,
face,
but
right?
they kept
Ah!
they kept playing the phone call, and they're a funny show that makes jokes, so they were kind of making light of it, and I couldn't I had to change like the channel because I was getting really like kind of
Yeah,
antsy
that
and
is a
uptight
gnarly.
about it. I was like, that's terrifying. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I've really enjoyed this conversation, but I'm going to go now because I don't want to think about this anymore. Thank you for leaving me with that mental image of a young girl's face being torn off by a chimpanzee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm really pleased.
I read they tend to go for the genitals.
Oh, I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
Ooh.
I'm really pleased you guys are back. I think I really enjoyed spending a bit of time with this record, and I'm sure I'll spend more time with it in the future. When are you going to come to the UK?
We're talking pretty soon. We're talking pretty soon here. Maybe in the fall.
I mean, when is that for like a normal person?
Maybe October, November, hopefully.
Oh, right. I always thought fall was like August.
No, maybe I don't
That's
know
summer
how.
for us.
Why do they call it fall? Why do they call it fall? Why do you guys call it fall?
I guess because the leaves
The
fall.
leaves start falling off the trees
Yeah.
before winter.
We call it autumn, and I think August is like August, September is autumn. Anyway,
Yeah.
these are all minor cultural differences.
Hey, those are I just call that semantics. Okay.
What a brilliant way to end this podcast. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that I see you down the line. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, James.
Thanks,
Thank you,
James.
James.
Thank you
Bye.
very much. Have a great
Bye.